Back on the Marching to Madness College Basketball Zoomcast podcast with Coach John Becker of the Vermont Catamounts. He's 229 and 96 and 10 years at Vermont, 4 American East championships, 6 American East regular season titles, and 8 postseason berths in those 10 years. Coach, welcome back.
Thanks, Ken. Appreciate you having me.
Of course, you guys finished tied for the American East last year. Now, that was 5 years in a row at the top, and then you were upset in the tournament. So as we look at this is going to be, then it was the first season since 15-16. The Catamounts haven't been picked to win the league as of, this year. How are your kids using that as motivators?
Yeah, I mean, I think that's exactly what it is. I mean, since we lost in the semifinal game, our guys have been in the gym, been in the weight room, and have been really focused. We brought 3 of our 4 seniors back, added 2 transfers and 2 freshmen, and so it's been we're pretty veteran, and a lot of guys that were here last year are back, and so there's good continuity. There's some some energy from new guys, and I think it will be interesting to see what happens. But we're really excited for the year, and the combination of losing in the semis and then not being picked to win the league. I think for once the bullseye's on somebody else, which we're going to hopefully play up in that role of being the underdog a little bit.
There you go. Of course, one of those players that returned is the reigning American East Player of the Year, Ryan Davis. He sat at 18.5 points per game. His shooting percentage is unreal. You very seldom ever see this where a guy shoots 58.6% from the floor and then doubles down with 41.5 from 3.
Yeah, I mean, he just had an incredible year, and one of the best, maybe the best finisher I've ever coached. He's got a righty and lefty jump hook that he can stretch it out to 10, 12 feet. And then, like you said, he shot it great from behind the arc, and he's been playing really well here in the preseason, and continues to shoot it well from inside and outside the arc. So I expect him to see a lot of double teams this year and get a lot of attention. And so we're just working with him to be prepared for that and make sure we are organized and know how we're trying to attack that.
You've got a point guard there. It's a super senior, Ben Shungu. I'm just curious how he's developed his game and gotten as good as he has. I read some clips and things where you really stressed work ethic as a big key for him.
Yeah, he's one of those. He's just different with his commitment and his work ethic. It's 365 days a year. It's multiple workouts a day, and he's just, he's one of those guys that's just different when it comes to his work ethic. So, he's come back and Steph Smith was kind of our scoring guard last year, and Steph's moved on to St. John's for his last year. And so Benny's come back, and has an opportunity to be the focal point, more of the focal point offensively in the backcourt. So it's going to be a new role for him, and he's worked really hard to be prepared for it. And I expect him to have a great year.
Could you break a little bit down about how he works out? I mean, we were talking about, I'm curious if a lot of it's with the ball in his hand, if he does a lot of things away from just, basketball itself.
It's mostly basketball stuff, but he's from this community. He grew up in Burlington, and obviously I've been here a long time and have a lot of friends. He's just one of those guys that every person that I run into that I haven't seen I saw Benny Shungu running. I saw Benny Shungu doing wind sprints at the high school. I saw and then in the gym, people around, I saw Benny Shungu. I came back to the office at 10 o'clock at night, or I was in at 5 o'clock in the morning. I saw Benny in here, and he's just a relentless worker. And it's, whether it's playing in a park out in Colchester or running hills in neighborhoods, working out at his old high school, or here in Patrick. He just seems to be in a gym or have a sweat, going. And he's just an incredible kid. And when he's not working out, he's just seems to be making time for everyone and anyone. It's Benny was at my kid's birthday party, but Benny was down at the community center helping out, and he just seems to be everywhere and always giving of his time. So he's just a special kid in our community.
Maybe he should run for mayor.
Yeah. Yes. He probably would win.
Hey, you got two transfers there. Cameron Gibson, he comes in from Western Carolina University. Ben Sullivan from San Diego. Both of these guys can score. Talk about their roles coming in. Are they going to be looked at as starters, maybe?
Yeah, we haven't set our rotation yet, but I imagine one of those two guys will be, or both will be in the starting lineup. And the thought process is when Steph decided to leave, that we needed some more, some natural scores in the backcourt. And Cam Gibson, freshman year, shot 41% from three, averaged 14 points a game, was an all rookie selection. And then in his sophomore year, he blew out his ACL. So basically his sophomore and junior years, he was kind of physically a shell of himself, although he did play a little bit his sophomore year. And then came back midway through his junior year, but he's fully recovered from that ACL injury, and a guy that's just a natural scorer, plays at his own pace, can score at all three levels. And so, he's been good in practice. And then Finn Sullivan is more of a natural point guard. His percentages haven't been great in college, but his mechanics are really good. The ball comes off his hands really well. But he wants to be to set people up, much like Robin Duncan for us, in that they're both big, 6'5", 6'6" guards that handle it really well, are physical, and can really pass and make people better. And so, with Finn, we're working with him to be a little bit more selfish offensively and hunt his offense a little bit more for this team, because we, need as much outside shooting as possible. And so, that's been a little bit of a transition for him, and we continue to work with him, but both guys are going to be heavily in the rotation.
Justin Mazzulla too in that rotation, 8.3 points per game. He's another 3-point shooter.
Yeah, I mean, that's not Justin's forte. He shot it, I think 37% last year was a decent percentage, and he's shooting it well so far through preseason. But he's more of a versatile glue guy. He's our voice out on the court. You can hear him talk. He's multi-positional. He's played a lot of four here in the preseason. With 12 guards on our roster that I think all can play. We're just trying to make sure we have the ability to play four guards and know what we're doing. So we've worked a lot on that. And Justin's because he's put on 20 pounds this offseason, so he's just much bigger and more physical. And he's just a really smart basketball player, communicates really well, understands exactly what we're doing, can give us offense, can give us defense, and just make a lot of hustle plays. And so, he's a big part of our team too.
With Isaiah Powell, now he's 6'6", but he can go inside and outside. If you have 12 guards on your roster, he's going to probably see time floating around, maybe like a stretch four.
Yeah,
maybe.
Yeah, he's definitely a stretch four, and but he has guard skills, and he's a big, strong kid, and can guard in the post and can move his feet on the perimeter. So he's really an important piece to our success this year. Our system really features our bigs, and he's going to have the ball in his hands quite a bit, and we're going to depend on his ability to make shots, and also his ability to make the right reads and move the ball. And he's had a really good off season, and I expect him to have a good year.
With that much depth, Could you talk a little bit about your philosophy of like how many players are in a rotation, or does that vary, I guess, as maybe the season changes?
Yeah, I mean, I've been a guy that have played, 10 guys in my rotation. My first year as a coach, I played 11 and sometimes 12 guys. And so I want to reward the guys that are practicing well and being productive. And so that's going to be my challenge, and something I've talked to the team about is some guys just are going to be on the outside of the rotation that maybe in a normal year wouldn't be, just because of a bloated roster with 3 seniors coming back, or super seniors or whatever they're called. And so we've got to, we've got to manage that. So that's something where I've got to find the guys that play best with each other, and give us the best chance to win. But I'm going to try, and last year we didn't have a non-conference. This year we do. So that's an opportunity and for me to play more guys. It may not be in the same game, more than 10 in a game, but if a guy doesn't play, I can play him another game if it's a matchup or if they're practicing better or whatever. And so, but usually through the non-conference, everyone's going to get an opportunity to get in the game in meaningful minutes and make a case for themselves being in the rotation. And so, I really like this group's work ethic so far and their chemistry, and, everyone's practiced fairly well so far. So now, we'll hopefully I can get them through the non-conference, some real opportunities. And then by the time we'll have a week break before league play starts around Christmas, we'll really have a good sense of what combination of guys give us the best opportunity to win.
Last thing, Coach, of course, the American East being a one bid league, it's sometimes really tough whenever it comes down to 3 days, rather than 3 months. But I
Yeah.
wanted to ask you, in 11, this will be your 11th year, in 11 seasons now, how have you seen this conference change? The competition in here is unbelievable. People forget about UMBC as an American East team who beat Virginia, the only 16 to beat a 1.
Yep. Yeah, no, our conference is very, very good. And I think really underappreciated, even in the Northeast. I don't think it gets enough credit for the quality teams we have, which means we have quality players and quality coaching. This year, there's 3 new head coaches in our league. Quite a few transfers have come into our league. So I think, I think there's 4 or 5 teams that probably feel really confident about their chances of winning this year. So it's going to be really competitive. It comes a lot down to who can stay healthy. And then, like you said, it comes down to, it comes down to having to win the conference tournament those 3 days in March, which I would argue is that tournament is the most stressful event that takes place during a college basketball season, trying to get through your conference tournament as a 1 bid league. And when you're the 1 seed, it's a good thing because you probably have the best team, but it's even that much more stressful because you really want to finish off what you started in the regular season. So, my lack of hair and the grayness of it have a lot to do with that tournament, I can tell you.
I wish I had something like that to blame mine. Coach John Becker, the Vermont Catamounts coach. I always enjoy talking to you. I hope we can meet up down in Estero, Florida here in November. See you guys play live, actually.
That would be great. We're looking forward to some warm weather and some good games and a great tournament, the Gulf Coast Showcase down there. So we're looking forward to it, and I hope to see you in person.